Recently, I started playing this pretty cool Roblox game about space. It was an enjoyable experience, but I noticed a lot of flaws. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. The most prominent one, its overwhelming use of AI. So I decided to make it better. First things first, we need a list of things we can improve. As we already talked about, AI usage. We don't want any of this. Overwhelming monetization. The game includes many game passes and developer products, but this is something we will also touch on a bit later. Grindy gameplay mechanics. This point might be a bit controversial, but the progression of the game is too linear. Sure, there are quests, but you need to travel large distances to complete them. These large distances can take upwards of 5 minutes for a one-way trip for beginner players, not to mention the obstacles that can blow up your ship and leave you stranded in space at any given time. With our goals set, let's begin. Alright, so I've just loaded into the plays file that we're going to use for this project, and yesterday when I thought about it, I actually created this little prototype for a ship. Now, it doesn't look like a ship at all, but it can still move in all 6 directions, so let me show you. Just going to quickly load in, and I'm going to show you how it works. The way to control the ship is you press W and S to tilt, or pitch I think it's called. You can use A and D to turn, and then Q and E to do barrel rolls. Now, this ship's max speed is 24, and when I press space, as you can see, it starts moving, like same as the game we were trying to base this off of. So I can increase the speed by pressing space, and lower it by pressing left shift. Let me just quickly stop this so I can show you how this works. If I go into ship, you can see that I have speed stage and default speed. Default speed is basically the maximum speed the ship can go. Now, the speed stage is... how would I explain this? Well, let's say I divide the maximum speed into... I divide it by 4. And the number I get, let's say 6, is the maximum speed stage. So, each time I increase the speed stage, I start moving by 4 more speed or 4 less speed, depending on how we're going to do it. So if my default speed is 24, my maximum speed stage is 6, because 24 divided by 4 is 6. Alright, now that we got the basics, I think we need to make some planets. So let me just quickly design Earth. Alright, so I imported 2 sphere meshes into the game. Now these specifically are actually meshes, and let me explain why real quick. If I were to use, let's say, a regular Roblox sphere, which is classified as a part, I am able to go inside of it and not see the outside. But if I wanted to create a hole in it and then use the unions to do all that, it would not allow me to have 2 textures. So how most people do this is they just get a sphere and an inverted sphere. Now on the sphere, you will have the outside of the planet, and on the inverted sphere, you will have the inside of the planet. So let's quickly set this up. I'm going to grab both of these objects, and I want to find cast shadow, and I want to turn this off. So now they have no shadows. Now I'm going to grab the inverted sphere and scale it down, let's say 49. So it's 1 stud smaller. I'm going to copy this one, the normal sphere's position, and I'm going to paste it in here. So now it looks like this. Now I also want to get both of these, and I want to set can collide to false, and I want to anchor them. So this is how it looks like now. Now I'm just going to add a small platform. So let's just scale this up. Let's do 20, 20, 20. And actually we just do like 5. So this is our platform now. Let's copy the position again. Paste it into the platform. And now the platform is inside the sphere. Let's anchor all of these. Let's put him in the model. And let's test it out. I'm going to use my ship to try to fly in there. So if I go max speed, you can see I can fly in, and I can land. By the way, the ship uses F to exit. So now let's get some graphics. I went ahead and got some planet textures for the moon and Mars. And I just real quick want to say that these are from SolarSystemScope.com and the NASA Scientific Visualization Studio. Alright, so now we got the textures, we can just go into the window and open up our asset manager and click images. Here I have the 3 images that I inserted. Now, I also modified the model a little bit since the images weren't working. So now it's just the inverted sphere, but on the outer one, I enabled, I just have to find it. It's something like with double sides, basically. So it's double-sided. Now, let's call this model our planet. Now let's actually scale this up, like it is in the game. So I'm just gonna get 10 studs, and we're gonna scale this up accordingly. See how big this is. 110. So let's scale that down by 1. And now this is a pretty big planet. Now let's grab this platform, and, well, let's readjust it. Let's set it to about, let's do 50. See how that looks. That should be the exact perimeter of it, right? Not, but, so let's do 52, 5, 52. Oh, I messed that up. 5, 52. Alright, that looks pretty solid. Let's just keep it like this for now. So this is our planet. This is what we're gonna base everything off of. So let's select our outer sphere. I'm just gonna name this the inner sphere and the outer sphere. And then the platform, the terrain. We can add some actual terrain later. We're just gonna keep it like this for now. So, now that I have the outer sphere, I'm gonna find the property called the texture ID. I'm gonna click on it. And the first planet we're gonna find is Earth. So I'll just click the Earth texture. And as you can see, it imported very nicely. And I have a nice Earth texture here. Just gonna select both of these and make sure that cast shadow is off. Can't fly is also off. And also they both need to be anchored. So now let's go to the other one. And we could probably find some cool sky for now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get a cool color. Like cyan, but let's readjust it a little bit so it looks realistic. I think we need to go a bit to the... This looks like a good color. And I can just keep it at cyan for now. So this is a pretty good planet already. Let's actually put our spawn location in the planet. So I'll just copy the position of this and put it on there. So it's in the center. And move it up a little. There we go. And let's also move the ship in there. So, now if I test it, I'm in Earth. I have a pretty cool sky. I can get on the ship. And I can fly out of Earth. And as you can see, we still have the texture. And I can then just fly back into Earth whenever I need to. So yeah, very nice. I think we need to go a bit bigger, so I can just copy this, and I'm gonna make this the moon. And then I'm just gonna scale up Earth. Let's do E. Yeah, that looks very big, probably. Actually, it's not that big. Yeah, we can just do 50 for Earth. It'll be fine. So now, for our moon, I'm just gonna go into the outer sphere again, into the texture ID. Hold on. Texture ID right here. I'm gonna select my moon. And that looks very nice. Very good quality pictures. But now this is not good. But as you can see, since this isn't space, it shouldn't have this even. So I think there's... Let's do transparency and set this to 1 on the inner sphere. And on the outer sphere, let's disable double-sided, I think it was. No. Okay, well, this is gonna be a bit tricky. We could just get the same... I have an idea. Well, I guess that's cool. Anyways, we can leave it like this for now. It's not like it matters. This doesn't really have to be that good. So, yeah. We can just leave it like this. Now, I want to... Where did my spaceship go? Okay, it's still right here. Now, I want to focus on the actual game mechanics of the game. So, first we gotta, of course, upgrade our ship, because if this is our ship, then it's trash. So I'll just quickly build something that looks a bit better. I'll just take it out of the planet, and let's begin building. I want to build like one of those classic ships that you would see. So I'll get to it. I also want to give it some basic landing legs so that it can land. This isn't going to be too hard. Let's just do 4. One thing that I do like about the original game is their ship models. The ship models are actually very nice, and from what I've seen, none of them are AI generated, so that's a pretty big W. But the images are AI generated. Alright, I've done the basic hull. Now, let's get to the window in the front. What I was thinking is that we could have an animated window for the shuttle. So basically when you hop out, it like opens, and when you hop in, it closes. So that would be pretty cool, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it in this video, because it's already a bit too long, but let's see. Alright, I think this should be the hatch. So I'll just fold this one together, but I will put it in model low. Actually, we can just do folder. From my keyboard. There we go. Alright, now let's weld. Let's see. I think it's Control-Shift-G on group, right? No. What? I think it looks pretty good, and now we have to weld all of it together. So we're going to start from the base. Let's go to the model and grab our welding tool. So I'm going to weld all of it like this, starting from the legs and going down. Actually, I'm also just going to enable welds and constraints so I can actually see what I've welded. And then I'm going to go down and weld the legs. Can I just add text? No, I didn't. Okay. So we're gonna weld the little legs, just like so. And now I need to attach the cone and the window, which I think, yes, I'm gonna have to do manually, sadly, but it's not that bad. Okay, and now this is our third shuttle. Looks very nice. Now let's do this. So in the ship, I'll grab the hull, but before I make it transparent, let's actually move it inside the ship. Alright, seems nice. Switch back to stud. And just move it in here like this. Switch to 0.1 studs. And let's do some precise adjustments. Okay, that looks nice. So now let's grab this, the base. Well, actually, let's call this the engine. And let's put it in the rocket itself. So that's the rocket. Let's go into the engine. Let's grab the hull. Let's add a wealth constraint to the hull. Part 0, hull. Part 1, base of the ship. And let's just package this in another model, call it the rocket, so it's the same, and ungroup the folder. So now we have this in the model, and it should work just fine. So I'm going to test it out right now. Oh god, I forgot something to plan it. Damn it. If my voice sounds a bit raspy, it's because I'm still recovering and actively sick. I'm pretty sure it's COVID, but I'm not really sure. Right, so I don't believe that was supposed to happen. Yeah, and the ship is just not moving. That's great. So one of these, yeah, the code is incorrect. None of these, yeah, the code was anchored. I don't think any else of those are anchored. But that still gets out, why? It should be welded. Oh, I didn't set part 0. There we go. Alright, another molded. Oh! I boarded the ship! Looks like it works! Oh, it does work! It actually looks really nice. It looks better than I expected it to look. This is pretty sick. And pretty funny too. Alright, so my footage time is already way over 30 minutes. I think this is where I'm gonna end it in this video. But tune in for the next part if I do make it, and we're gonna upgrade this a lot because I said I would make it better, but this does not look better at all. So yeah, I'm gonna see you later, and bye-bye.